What's going on, everyone? World War III is on the horizon, but let's not let that overshadow what's really important this spring, the USFL. The draft just concluded yesterday, so today I'll be introducing you to our 2022 USFL drafted punters, kickers, and long snappers in that order. First, a word from this video sponsor, because if you're going to watch a little kicking today, why don't you kick your tobacco habit or get your CBD fix using the sponsor of today's video, Canadips CBD pouches. Each can of Canadips has 15 pouches, and each pouch has 10 milligrams of that good American-grown CBD with 5 different flavors to choose from. You'll have plenty of ways to get your CBD on, and if you want to support my channel, go ahead and use promo code PUNT at checkout for 20% off as well. So that's CanadipsCBD.com using my promo code PUNT, or just use my affiliate link in the description. But back to the specialists. Going through punters will be pretty easy because there's only 3 that got drafted, and already you may be able to see some teams who will struggle versus the teams that won't. I'll explain more as I go, but the Birmingham Stallions select former NFL punter and punt factory trainee, showing love to my coach, Colby Wadman. Colby had 2 years with the Broncos, making the Stallions the second horse team he's been on, but in his 2 years with the Broncos, he put up a consistent 44.5 yard average. And when I mean consistent, I mean 1 year he had 44.3, the next year he had 44.7. Colby had an extremely explosive leg, he has great consistency, and a bag of trick punts that will suit him well in the league with the Stallions. The next punter up is the Houston Gamblers selection, and they did no such gambling on this punter by picking up Drew Gallitz. The former Baylor Bear has a very high ceiling and a history of playing in the smaller leagues, with his time in the XFL Renegades doing well. During his tenure, he had 14 punts with a 43.7 yard average and only allowed 41 return yards, which would be the fewest in that league. This brings us up to our last punter. That's right, just 3 in Michael Garazosa. He goes right to the Michigan Panthers. This free agent out of San Jose State University is going into his 5th year of free agency, so this is his big break. I've kept up with this guy for a while. I love his drive, his dedication to his craft, and his desire to compete. His career at SJSU ended with him averaging 44 yards in his career, which is mostly being weighed down by his freshman debut, but he averaged collectively 45.67 yards after that. This is going to bring us to the kickers that were drafted, and there were 6 of them. So let's start with the Philly Stars selection, Matt Mangal, who was formerly with the Montreal Alouettes and was a UCLA Bruin before that. While he doesn't have any kicking stats from either, being signed to a CFL team means you have to be good, right? The second kicker coming through is Nick Rose for the Generals. Nick has had a long and windy career. After his career with the Texas Longhorns ended, he signed with 9 different professional teams, 8 of those being NFL teams, and only playing for 2 of them, which was the Washington, at that time Redskins, and then the San Diego, at that time Chargers in 2017. He's 11 for 14 on field goals, 10 for 11 with the Skins, 1 for 3 with the Chargers, and a long of 55. The third kicker selected for the Bandits is Georgia State alum Brandon Wright. Brandon is a talented kicking and punting prospect, doing all 3 at GSU in his time there, and has been signed by the Jaguars and Rams at different points in his career. His only NFL game experience comes with the Jags, going 1 for 2 on extra points, and keeps getting picked up as a kicker despite his Instagram name being Earl Punts. And since Earl Punts shares the same last name as Isaac Punts, I can confirm the rumors that we are in fact brothers. The kicker going into the NOLA Breakers is Austin McGuinness. This UK graduate, University of Kentucky, not to be confused with United Kingdom, has had a variety of professional signings, some with the AAF and XFL, and has had a flurry of back and forth with the Los Angeles Rams. His 1 field goal attempted for the Rams was missed, and his 1 kickoff went 57 yards. Coming into our last 2 kickers drafted is Nick Vogel, going to the Houston Gamblers. Nick is a talented kicker out of UAB and graduated in the dreaded COVID year, making his life as a free agent miserable. After attending the rookie camp for the Ravens, things have been quiet for him, so I'm glad to see him getting his break. Some notables in his career is he had a 73% touchback rating in his college senior year, paired with an 82% field goal percentage as a senior year, and going 32 for 32 on extra points, making him a promising prospect at the next level. Finally, the Stallions pick up Brandon Aubry out of the American Soccer League, completing the 2 pair for kickers named Brandon and kickers named Nick. Notables about Mr. Aubry is that he actually has not played a single snap of collegiate nor professional American football, doing all of his college and professional athletics in regular football, aka soccer, since most of my watchers are in fact American. So we will be keeping an eye on his performance moving forward. Finally, we have our long snapper selections, which are looking as anemic as our punters, with the general selecting Scott Flanick, the former Army long snapper, the Bandits selecting Ryan DeSalvo, the former Tennessee Titan long snapper. The Philly Stars nabbed Ryan Navarro out of Oregon State, who had attended the Oakland Raider minicamp in 2017, which leaves the last long snapper picked up to be the Pittsburgh Maulers long snapper Mitch Fabroni out of Arizona State. So, like I said, this paints an interesting picture for what special teams is going to look like in the USFL. So let's recap and see who has the best special teams unit. To rank them, I'm going to go off of who would be the best to play at this current second. So that includes people who, don't have anybody signed. I'll be taking that into account right now, knowing that they will be signed later. But the Tampa Bay Bandits, I would say, currently have the strongest special teams unit with Mr. Earl Punt and Ryan DeSalvo. Since Brandon Wright can do all three at a high enough level to get him looked at by NFL teams for both positions, and they have a long snapper to go with them, I think that puts them in the best spot currently. The next best unit, I have to say, goes to the Stallions, who picked up a proven NFL talent with Colby Wadman and a potential rising star with Brandon Aubry, and are only one long snapper free agent away from really having it all. In a similar situation, the Houston Gamblers, who picked up a top-level kicker with Nick Vogel and a very high-level punter with Andrew Gallitz, and are just looking to lock up that free agent long snapper spot to give them a super secure and elite unit. Next, I have to give it to the Philly Stars for going with a combo guy in Matt Mangal to combine with a long snapper. However, Matt has yet to prove himself of being able to do both kicking and punting at the highest level, which is why he's not higher. Right behind the Philly Stars comes the Michigan Panthers, who picked up a stud combo guy with Michael Garazosa, but no long snapper to complement him yet. One more step behind them are the NOLA Breakers, who picked up a pure kicker, but no punter or long snapper. And last but not least, the Pittsburgh Maulers sit a sad and lonely Mitch Fabroni on the specialist bench by himself as a snapper with no one to snap to. So there you go. There's your specialist and special teams unit so far. Once some significant changes have been made, I'll announce the new guys. But until then, here's my recommended video for what you guys should check out next. And here's what YouTube picked for you. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. And as always, peace.